Are we live? Are we live? Yes, we are live. I had my camera. Hi everybody and welcome back to the Nubian Review. Today, um, I'm going to do a quick live on some books and um yeah, on some books. I thought I would chat with you guys while I drink my coffee for today and get ready. Yes, I still have the rag on my head. So, yeah. There was a challenge that was going around. I saw um, a couple of booktubers mm, do this challenge where I think it was called 10 to the end. And so they were 10 books that they were going to try to read at the end of the year. Let me scoot my camera back. So I thought that that was a fun challenge. And um, I'm going to say, I'm going to embark on it because it's going to probably push me to read those books I have in my 25 or 2025 list, but not all of them are listed in this video. But these are the ones that y'all like my mug. hmm It says, my favorite person is my cat. And I need to put an S on there for plural because I have multiple. But um, so yeah, I'm going to give you 10 and a bonus one because I already started reading, so why not? But yeah, I wanted to share that with you guys. And I just thought it was interesting and how we now at the time where I'm sharing this with you all, we're like what, a week before the holidays. So I don't have that much time and I'm not gonna pretend that I'm gonna read all these books. But these are books that have been like on my mental TBR to read for a while. Mm. You may see a visitor or two. Yeah, because they like to jump in the camera when I'm on it. So let me get into these books. So this is the bonus book. I started reading this yesterday, what I will call a reread, and it is Black Boy. Um, this is an autobiography by Richard Wright, and it's a how can I say? I love the dialogue that he using here when he's talking and when he's emphasizing and his relationship to his family. Now, I will say and the one caveat in the back of this book, and this is why I love this edition. It gives a chronological story of his life in the back from the day of his birth to his death. And so if you want the quick, you can go to the back. But yesterday I just decided to dive into it and I have moments like that. I'm a heavy mood reader. And when I'm mood reading, I just, I don't I tend not to go I just go based on like what I'm feeling at that moment. So yesterday when I picked this up, I was actually organizing some of my books on my bookshelf. Me and my son, we had read this um, in his academic career, and I had, but we did like a mixed media. So we did like an audio book slash reading. And so what I noticed is that I didn't do any kind of highlighting, annotating, and I normally do that. So this one is for me. I will be reading this. The next one, my 10 before the end is Jaws by Peter Benchley. I just thought this is the 50th anniversary of the movie. The book came out in 74. The movie came out in 75, which, I am a big Jaws fan. I like one and two, but when they got into Jaws 3 and 4, the actual movie, I just said, how much, how long are they going to, drag this storyline along? So But the original was the best. It was who was the Steven Spielberg. He was the director of the first one, and seeing it like 50 plus years from now, you can tell like um the power of, you know, like the visual, like the sharks and stuff. They have gotten much better. But yeah, Jaws. So my next one is one I have for classes, Crime and Punishment. Um, this one is actually an academic read, so I'm not going to get into that, but just it's a heavy academic read. Delicate Conditions. This is my 25 of 2025 book, and it says Her Body is No Longer Hers, Danielle Valentine. This was on my list of books to read, so I hope I get to it. I'm not promising that I will get to it, but I hope I get to it. Yeah. Another one is No Immediate Danger. I've talked about this book a few times on my I talked about this a few times on my channel. This is my environmental read. Well, I have a couple. Well, my goal was to do at least one a quarter to get, you know, but I think this year I did two. This is the second one. I did Finding the Mother Tree in this one. So this just talks about the environment and how the title itself speaks for itself. But let me give you a snippet of what I'm doing. It says this is well, no, it talks about it now. It says Robert T. Baldwin, No Immediate Danger. This is the first volume of a two-volume carbonologies of the carbonologies, and it talks about how wasteful, you know, we are allowing the environment to be, us not being stewards of the earth. It really goes into detail. I am like a quarter through this book, so this is a most interesting read. You will probably see this on my channel again and again and again, because I do plan on continuing this 4-part series into next year. To complement that, this is another book that me and my son had read over time. But Life in a Bucket of Soil. Um, Alvin Silverstein and Virginia Silverstein. This is definitely one of his reads from homeschool. And I just thought this was interesting because I am in the process of composting. I've been composting for a while now, and I'm beginning to see the fruit of my labor. So I just thought that Life in a Bucket of Soil is one of those books that I want to recap. It has a lot of visuals in there, but it definitely tells you how all the creatures in the ants and the sloths, and there's so many caterpillars, how they play a part in keeping our soil vibrant and allowing us to basically grow our foods. I have a visitor, you guys. Mm. Excuse me. Can I have my book right here? Excuse me. Am I helping you up? Okay, you guys. All right. Every time I turn this on this camera, she always jumps in. Combi. I would say 40% through. This is one of my slower reads. I hope to finish this by the end of the year, but I'm not promising myself. What I am doing is I'm reading it at a slower pace because I am annotating and I am highlighting some important things. I have a visitor with me, you guys. Are you staying or are you leaving? Okay. And that was part of my 25 of 2025. Yay. Okay. How the Word is Passed, Clint Smith. We need this book. That's what Emir X Kende. Emir X Kende is probably one of my favorite authors of all time. And yeah, I see some people said hi. Hello. I do apologize. I have not been looking at my feed, so I do apologize. I'm just like randomly talking. But hello everybody, and welcome. If this is your first time at my channel, I do book chats, book reviews, book hauls, and all the good stuff. Okay, everything bookish, even bookish gossip, if there is something to talk about. How the word is passed. Clint Smith. I am surprised that I have not read this book yet, and I'm always in the mindset to read it, but not even the mindset, but I always want to read it and I always have it with me, but I just never open it up. And it's not a big book. It's a pretty thin book. So I hope I do get to this year. This is on my 25 or 2025. So we will see how that work out. Now, this should be my last book, but I do have two other books. A Fistful of Shells by Toby Green. And this talks about the slave trade and the age of revolution. This is a heavier read. I'm not promising I would get to this. However, what I want to do is definitely prioritize this. If I don't get to this by the end of this year, I am going to try to get to this by I'm definitely going to put it back on my list for 2026. I am getting a call, you guys. Let me decline it. I am recording this on my phone just in case you all want to know. The last but not least is A Beautiful Mind. I've never saw the movie. It talks about a mathematician who is diagnosed schizophrenic, and he talks about evolution and other extraterrestrial beings. And so if you ever seen the movie, let me know how it was. I've seen clips of it. I've seen very small segments of the movie. Never sat down and watched it for myself. But this is one of my books to movie reviews. So I am definitely going to read this. But this is also on my 25 or 2025 book challenge of the year. And that's it. I just thought that I would drop in and share that with you all and have a small chat. Like, what are you reading for the holidays? Audio booking, e-booking, physical copy, just all the things. I love a good audiobook when I can find one. I love the full cast audiobooks when they have like the different characters. Yeah, and I just, I'm such a mood reader. I may read some of these books. I may read none of these books, and that's just the truth. Because I'm not going to pressure myself. But I always have to keep in mind that, I need to focus on my active TBR, and that's to be read stack. My active TBR, when I'm looking to read a book and not hastily go out and get the new thing because it's the new book or the new release. I say, you know what? This is my little visitor, you guys. Every time I record, she comes and sit with me, right? Right? Yeah. You want to say hi to the camera? No? Okay. Okay. So I'm drinking my cup of coffee. I'm going to sit down for a little bit and I guess listen to some good music, probably look at some of you guys' videos. And actually, I got this idea off of a couple of booktubers. Oh, what is their names? Oh, it's two booktubers that I follow. And because this is live, I don't think I can go back and look for their books, but I mean for their channels. But if you I guess go to YouTube and put in the search bar 10 before the end book reads or something like that, you'll find a slew of videos of people who are also doing this same challenge, which I just thought it was interesting, and it's really motivating me to get this book stack this book stack down. Um, what I can do, and the beauty about going live is that I can come back to you guys every week and share with you all, what I have completed, what I DNF, and DNF stands for do not finish, did not finish, and let you know what I'm looking forward to reading next. But yeah, currently I am reading Black Boy, and I will probably finish this because it's the holiday week. I will probably finish this in a couple of days and go on to my next book because I do have other books that I would like to read and get out the way. But yeah, I just find this one when I'm reading it by myself now, and I'm not reading like in a group. Um, I'm finding that I am taking the the story in more mindfully. Now, a lot of people may mistake this for a literary fiction, but this is a work of nonfiction. This is an autobiography of Richard Wright's life, and so I just thought this was I love his writing. So I'm looking at this from a different eye. Um, an eye where I'm not forced to read it. Like this is not a mandatory read. This is something that I just want to read because I'm a fan of Richard Wright's work. And even though, although his catalog is not long, he has a lot of his works did not sell as well as Black Boy. And what was the it's two of them. It's Uncle Tom's Children, Native Son, which I will be reading that one soon too. Black Boy. It was The Outsider. I think The Outsider was the one that did poorly. But my goal is to read his entire catalog and discuss it and share with you guys my thoughts. And so, if you're interested in that, stick around. But yeah, I will probably finish this before the holidays because I do have another book that I am also audiobooking, and that is Infinite Jest. Let me show it to you guys. This is a chunky monkey, and I don't carry this around with me. Like when I'm reading this book, I try carrying it with me to read, but just listening to the audiobook and trying to read that is just it's too much. David Foster Wallace, and because you see how big this is, I don't need to finish this by the end of the year. I just want to finish it by the end of the year because this has been on my TBR for far too long. And what I understand, there are discussions in the making of doing an actual movie. And I would like to see this on film because I wonder how the film will have to be completely like the script will have to be completely dissected or taken apart and highlight the individual characters because the cast of people in here you let me give you a premises of what I've gotten so far out of this book is centered around several things: mental health, addiction, sports theme, and you have all these cast of characters who are coming together with different motives and achievements. So it's just hard to explain, but if you are one of those people, it definitely talks about the silence of mental health disabilities and addictions that probes our society and how normality should look like. And that's my take on it right now as I'm reading it. But it's such a deeper message, and I'm only a quarter into the book. Like I said, when I'm reading Infinite Jest, I definitely have to listen to the audiobook while I am like physically looking at the words. Some books I can listen to the audiobook and then go and listen to and just read and just still keep up with it. But I couldn't do it with Infinite Jest because it's his writing. When I say run on sentences, and he was a genius for run on sentences, like I don't get it. I don't get it. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't get it. Mm. So in saying that, um, I'm enjoying it so far. I'm enjoying it so far this time around. I decided that I wasn't going to give up on it. And I did not even put that in my prediction to finish 10 before the end because I'm not promising myself to finish that by December 31st, 11:59 p.m. I'm going to finish it when I'm done with it. In the words of Nene, I said what I said. But yeah, Infinite Jest. So if you guys are interested in looking at a book discussion regarding this book, when I clear my thoughts and I'm able to categorize some of the themes that the author addressed in here, please come back. I don't know if I'm going to do it as a live or as a pre-record. I would like to do it as a live because I would like to get everyone's insight on what they're thinking. And I will probably make it easier to where I just address some of the themes and the characters and then, not giving too much away, but like talk about some social topics that probably need to be addressed, like addiction, mental health. His mother, OCD, and that is a mental condition. And so these are some of the things that like we don't talk about because talking about our mental health is either overstage or under addressed, right? Everyone's having a mental emotional shutdown or what they call that breakdown or whatever they call it. But then you have those who abuse the term and it's just a little stress. So we're like on both ends of on the spectrum. And then you have the main character who has a disability, and as of yet they still have not named what his disability is. But when you're listening to the recording, it's like it's not even audible. Like when the character talk, it's not audible. So you have all of these characters around him explaining what's going on, but at the same time, um, everyone's speaking for him, and you don't hear the character speaking himself. So his dialogue are thoughts in his mind, but not verbal words that are spoken. So it's an interesting mixture of it's an interesting mixture of writing and poetry, and it's very thought provoking. One thing I will say, the author David Foster Wallace, I don't know if I think this book was published posthumously, but he was considered a genius, and he took his own life. Um, and I was introduced to him during my academic years. And let me see the book. I always forget the title of this book, but the first book I read, Consider the Lobster. And Consider the Lobster is a compilation of various essays. So that was interesting. Even with that, I just thought that his writing was it was unique in the sense that I would like to follow his career along. So he may be one of the authors that I highlight in the future. Other books that I want to read, I will definitely want to read and put to rest is Jaws. I want to read this one right here because my son got this for me for my birthday. And so, yeah, he is weird because he also got me How the Word is Passed, but he got it in a paperback. Um, and so he didn't know I had it already in my home library. So he ended up taking it back and getting me something else. But he always seemed to get the books exactly what I am looking to read. And I probably mentioned in a conversation that I want to get Jaws, the 50th anniversary edition. And so I just thought that was a beautiful gift. That was a beautiful gift. So I said I wasn't going to let this go over a half an hour. Thank you for joining, whoever joined. I like to do these live book chats. I know this is like me just rambling on, but I want to try to engage more with my community. So if you have any questions for next time, I will catch you guys in my next live. I I said to myself, I want to try to do it at least once a week because I do have videos that I have scheduled to record. A lot of them I need to edit and upload. But I do have some videos that I'm scheduled to record. And this is not scheduled. This is just me popping in and talking to, the community and just letting you all know what's going on with me. And I want to know what's going on with you. So until next time, you guys, I will see you later. And hopefully you're having a beautiful day wherever you are in the world. Bye bye. Now, I'm going to try to exit from here, but I don't know how. So give me a moment. So if you guys see me looking at the camera like I'm lost, that's what that is. I'm going to finish drinking my coffee and I'm going to close out this video. So have a beautiful day. Bye bye.